think we are on air. I just need to check. Yeah, we are live for round 2 of the championship in Japan. My name is Luke and I'm joined by...
Classy. That's
There
just
he is.
me. I was half expecting an introduction and then you just stopped.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
what... just introduce yourself, but that's fine.
Yeah, back again, another week, another Wednesday. I didn't get a chance to look at last night's race, so I'm not sure how that played out, if there was any wet weather or anything like that, but we obviously had that last week. And Japan's notoriously wet, so let's see what happens in a few seconds' time when we see the qualifying.
Yep. So we...
Let's get the TAS open as well.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to connect with the game. There
Dry.
it is.
Very good. So,
Yep.
most people will be putting on some dry setups, unless, of course, we can see a wet race.
We've almost got a full grid as well.
We do. It's dry. It's a whole dry night tonight, so dry setups all the way. Shouldn't be any rain getting in the way of people. There's a little bit of a rain expectation during the race, but very low, so I'm sure it'll stay dry.
We had last week we had the icon saying it was raining, but then it was dry, so you never know in this game.
Yeah, and that ruined my race. I had far too much downforce on. In the end, it was my own mistake that cost me, but still not ideal. There was no task either last week, so I couldn't check the detail. I just had to go off the little icon.
Yeah, I've had this before as well with the icon thing, but now we have the test, so I mean that's more accurate than the game. It's somehow.
Exactly, yeah, somehow.
It's just we are waiting for the first cars to set their lap times. Last time out in Japan we had a sprint round. This time we do not have that.
Right, who's leading them around then? Is it Tonsek will be the first car? Yes it is.
Yeah, both Alfa Romeos. The winner is from last time is not... Oh, he is here. It's Rodo. I thought he was in the Red Bull, so I was looking at for the Red Bulls, but he isn't there, of course. My sound is a bit low. Maybe it's just my own sound, but I've turned it up a bit.
We should look through some of the press room stuff. You didn't manage to do that last week.
Oh yeah, that's true. So
I'll have a little read and I'll come back with some
information.
If you want to follow Tonsek around you.
So you're watching the beautiful Suzuka SS in Sector 1. Tricky to get right, but feels very good when you get it. Right. Let's see what his time is in the first sector, so we can compare to his teammate behind. It's a 32.6. What is Dino doing? 32.9, so he's a bit slower than his teammate currently. Spritzy set a 33.3, so he's a bit slower than that. The Alfa Romeo cars are looking quite strong here in the first sector, but that could be setup wise, of course. Goedenavond, Colin. I see you practice your Dutch there. Veel success.
Is that in the comments?
Yeah.
Nice one, Colin. Yeah, so having a look through some of these, Rodo obviously from last week, the race winner, obviously going back to his perfect start. Let's see what Tonsek posts actually before I go on.
It's 29.7, that's quite quick actually.
Yeah, that is quite quick. I believe the pole time last night was in the 30s still, so we've shaved 3 or 4 tenths off of the first division time already, which is good. Yeah, so Rodo is just wanting to keep it clean, obviously, which can be difficult. Obviously, turn one, when you've got that sort of banked corner braking, it's always difficult to judge. And with 20 cars piling, or 19 cars piling into that corner, it's sort of not up to you, is it, if you keep it clean?
Yeah,
that's always
I
the
have
intention, but people can come out of nowhere.
I had that once. I was behind Becker actually, and he lost control on the S's, and then you just get collected. Luckily we continued, but yeah, it's just so tight through these corners, and when someone makes a mistake up there, there's no room to avoid it almost.
Spritzy jokes that he went with a full wet setup last week because he can't read the weather, and he ended up being a mobile chicane for other drivers on the straight as people try to get around him. So he'll be looking to improve. He predicts 12th in qualifying, so not exactly the most optimistic prediction, and he hopes to finish inside the top 10 during the race. I mean, come on, Spritzy, you got to be hoping for more than that, surely.
He was on pole position last week, but this time he's on P10, so his prediction isn't too far off. But Colin in the chat trying some Dutch. Nederlandse teamgenoot voor 3 seizoenen help. That's actually true. So you have no clue what I just said, maybe, but
no. Is it Netherlands team something?
Yeah,
3
Dutch
seconds. Something. 3 seconds down.
Yeah, Dutch teammate for 3 seasons helps. But it's quite a good use of sentence, because I'm pretty sure, or Google Translate improved a lot, but it's quite a nice structure of the sentence. So it's I can't do Scottish. I maybe have to practice it a bit, but
yeah, to be fair, Dutch is one of those languages where obviously not every word, but I feel like a lot of the words look quite similar to English.
Yeah, it's the same language family. Is that what you call it? I'm not sure if that's.
Okay.
But that's yeah, Dutch is quite difficult, but on the other hand, it's also a bit logical. Maybe that's from my perspective, but.
Well, your English is far superior to my Dutch, being 0, so it wouldn't take much.
Yeah, but that's true. But we learn Dutch or English from around the age of 10 or so.
That's true. Yeah, true. So, is that Tonsek coming straight back out? It is. Paul Sitter wasting no time getting back out for his second run. We've still got some other guys. Are they just finishing the laps? The McLarens and the Mercedes, I think, are finishing.
Yeah, Dragos is the first one. Oh, he's lifted, so he won't improve. Then it is Snitsy, but he spun. And so we will follow Cosmo then. I think he's the one on the lap now.
I think a lot of drivers are agreeing that Sector 1 is up there with one of the most difficult sectors on the calendar. Especially sure. I've been really struggling through there. I found a setup today which works, I think, a little bit better. Tyre deg's always going to be difficult.
It is quite high here, so...
Yeah, and you just can't afford to touch barely any of those curbs through Sector 1. A few of them maybe you can get away with, but the 2 towards the end of the S's are just... they're killer.
They are deadly. So, if you look at last qualifying in Portugal in round 1, this is quite different. Maybe that was because we had a wet race, but so far Alfa Romeo is looking good.
Yeah, I've already forgotten the order, but I know off my experience last season, we've obviously got Riker, who you'd maybe expect to be a little bit higher. Huss as well, maybe Stubby.
Yeah.
And Matt also, obviously, Matt yet to set his lap, so I'm sure when he posts the time it'll be right up there as well.
He is on an out lap, but let's see who's on a push lap. It's quite difficult to follow, because when you approach the final sector it doesn't tell you you're on an out lap anymore.
That's not very helpful, is it?
Just follow Wardy for a second here through sector 1. Is he up on his time? He's up 1.5 tenths. And the midfield is quite close from P4 down to P10, so...
Yeah, Dragos is struggling. I've just had my eyes on him. He's obviously made a mistake in his opening lap, and then he's invalidated the second as Chimichangas has got into the wall. Somewhere.
Spritzy almost lost it when I jumped on board with him.
Yeah, so Dragos hasn't set a suitable time yet, and as I've said, he invalidated his second attempt, so he may only have one fresh set of tyres to run. It's going to be tight for him.
Just switching to some people here, and they're somehow all in the grass. So, not sure what is happening there, but just follow to Matt then. Matt is on the lap. Stoncheck improves again. 29.5, that's quite quick actually.
Yeah.
Because that's what the times I was reaching at some point at the end of the qualifying.
Good pace. Let's see what Matt can post. He's going to... Oh, not as high as I actually thought he would go.
Yeah.
Thought he might have gone into the top 6 at least, but he's 2.5 tenths outside of it, so it's not the end. Still 7.5 minutes to go. You'll get another run or two in, but I'm sure he would look to improve on that before the end of the session.
Rodo improves to P5, but still almost 5 tenths behind Smith in P4. And who's also on the lap.
So Aston Martin spun in Sector 1. Spritzy is on the grass. Is that what you said before? Is he stuck?
No, he's in the grass again then. So that's the second time.
And he's going to keep it on the grass. He's just mowing the lawn and he gets himself going again. Unfortunate Spritzy. He was joking with me this morning. I sent him a picture to send to get a cartoon made. And he said he was going to spend his day putting different wigs on my head instead of practicing Japan. So that's clearly how he spent his day, because you know he's already making mistakes in Sector 1.
Yeah, that's true. Should have practiced instead.
Exactly. I told him. I tried to tell him. He didn't listen, and now here we are.
It's a good lesson for him then.
Exactly, and he hasn't quite achieved his prediction of 12th, so he needs to, he needs to get himself a few tenths, and at least get to the prediction position, because as low as it was, you can't be going even lower than that.
That's true. Not a lot of guys are on laps now. So, Matt is jumping in the air over the curbs. Don't think that's very good for your car. So Raika's putting a purple sector. The final chicane. Tricky chicane. Watch out for the traction down to the line. He improves to P7. Big improvement. And he jumps ahead of his teammate then. Let's...
I'm watching on with Schnitzy, who's heading around for his first lap, just coming out of Sector 1.
Oh. Someone brutally spun.
I also need to re-familiarise myself with these corner names, because...
I know one of them is Spoon, but I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah, there's Spoon, there's Dunlop.
130R, we know.
Obviously, 130R, yes. And he's in the wall. He's kept it out the wall.
Just about small touch with the barrier, but...
So again, with limited time remaining, yet to set a time, he's going to have to get it back to the pits and get out quite quickly.
Ooh, how did Cosmo not invalidate into turn 1 there? I'm not so sure. A very loose end in the S's. You would like to have a bit of sliding in the car to turn in, but not too much, of course. And what is Cosmo doing? Cosmo is up by a small margin. Did the when you pass under the track, after
Yeah.
I always spun there. I'm not sure how that's possible, but when you touch the curb, or just
when you're half on the yeah, same. I've got to avoid that now.
Yeah, that was the only way I lost it in practice. No other corner I really lost out, but was spun. But that
didn't used to
corner.
be like that.
Yeah.
That's changed. I remember it used to be able to go pretty. Oh, and Schnitty's in the wall. He's lost more front wing.
I've got a.
He stayed out.
I got a lot of yellow flags on my screen.
Yeah, he decided not to come back in. He set off on another lap on the same compound there, and he's put it in the barrier.
If only
so the 154 that he set is obviously not a representative time, and he's got just over 3 minutes to get another one set.
Cosmo splitting the Ferraris. Is Fritzy still going for a lap? Not so sure. Oh, he is.
He's about to start one now.
Just following through the S section then for a bit.
I'll ride on board with Fritzy and keep you posted.
Oh, it's another yellow flag somewhere. It's a yellow flag for his teammate, who's also in the grass. Stubby's gone to P4, I didn't even notice that. And Dino's gone to P3. Look at the gaps between P2 and P5.
Oh yeah. Hardly anything, half a tenth.
That's really close. Some people going out only now. Does seem a bit late. We need to do a very quick outlap. But you do not want to push on the outlap because this tire wear is pretty high here.
So Spritzy's about to hit 130R. Let's check. He's 3.5 tenths up, so great lap for him. It's going to put him around P12. Maybe a little bit higher. Let's see what he can get in the final sector. He's kept it nice and tidy, good short shifts. He's got his foot to the floor. Let's keep an eye out. Where's he going to go?
P9.
Up to 9th.
So good improvement. But now let's watch the other guys who is entering that final part of. Dino is up on his time.
Got an AlphaTauri, who just lost it in the S's as well. It's booty.
Yeah. He told me in DM that he hopes to survive the first 10 laps, so let's see how that will end up. So I was just following Dino there. Was Tonchek also? Tonchek is also improving, so Alfa Romeo is looking strong tonight.
Very strong. Let's see if they can lock out the front row of the grid. He's very close to it. The McLaren of Jono's heading around again. I really hope the two McLaren drivers, my teammates, don't start at the back of the grid. That would be nice. They haven't set a representative time. And I don't actually think Jono's not going to get it round in time.
That's a bit of a miscalculation then. There's no way he's gonna
start last.
Yeah, they're starting at the back because Puggy did set a time. But let's see. I noticed that it's currently a 1-2 for Ferrari. For Alfa Romeo, sorry. I was just following a Ferrari. It's a yellow flag somewhere.
Oh, and Dino sets 1-2.
So the flag is out. Spritzy's finished. And someone else on the lap is Don taking back the P2. He is splitting both Alfa Romeos who are finished with their laps. And then it is Puggy is going slow. So we just follow Matt for a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Craigo crashed in the S section. So he's done as well.
That time probably won't be beaten unless Matt can improve by over 2 tenths. See, in fact we'll know, won't we?
Yeah, he was 3.5 tenths up. Yeah, 4 tenths.
Yeah, so wow. Big lap from him. We've got Rodo, Huss, Schmidt's about across the line as well. He's got a little bit of a toe. And he improves to P4.
And Matt is behind his teammate. His teammate is also finishing the lap.
Rono is half a tenth up, and it's not going to be enough to take Huss's position. Huss has had a mistake, he's 7 seconds down, so he won't improve either.
Raika, only small improvement. What is Rodo doing?
I believe that's going to be our grid.
Small improvement, and that is everyone down, I think, yeah?
It is, yeah.
So, Tonchek on pole position. Just ahead of Don. Followed by Dino, his teammate, who was just ahead of Smith, and Stubby close behind. So Alfa Romeo and Williams doing well. Ahead of
quite
Haas.
Big gaps.
Yeah. So
a second between the top 10.
Yeah, and then the big split is between Stubby, Haas, and then Haas to Rodo. So our championship leader, actually, Rodo, down in P7 ahead of both Red Bulls, who we predicted to be much higher. Yeah, it is the dry race, Colin. But yeah, Spritzy in P10, so he does beat his prediction.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, shouldn't have been that hard anyway.
No, that's true. I mean, it is. The gap isn't that much to even P13. It's a tenth, so the Ferraris in P11 and P13. And Cosmo splitting them in the Mercedes. Both Alpha Tauris down in P14 and 15. Not what they want. And then it's an Alpine of Jimmy who crashed early on in the session. So he couldn't improve. And then both McLarens down in P18 and 19. Both 24 seconds behind pole position.
Yeah, that's not a great outing for the McLaren boys today.
But it's only qualifying, so
true.
You can only go upwards from this.
Obviously, last week we managed to go without a safety car as well.
Yep.
So I do, in fairness, this is a track which is likely to have a safety car. I feel like Portimao you can get away with a mistake. The walls aren't too close. Around Suzuka, however, there's a lot of places you can drop it, and the first thing you see is a wall. Thinking as well, the final traction zone, that pit stop wall, is a bit treacherous as well. A little mistake there, and you're either going in the pits or in the wall.
Yeah, and we've seen that last season with a certain Mercedes driver on the final lap, on the final corner.
Yes.
So it's definitely possible. But yeah, I remember from last season, I think in the championship we had like 4 safety cars, and we only had 13 drivers. So I'm hoping we do not have a lot of safety cars, because it will be a very long race if that is the case.
Absolutely.
Just waiting for players, it says.
Yeah, got a timer now.
Well, let's see what everyone else is using as a tire strategy. I would be surprised if someone takes the soft tire, but
yeah, I ran that in a practice earlier and it was really bad.
Yeah. I'm seeing, let's see, I think I saw mostly hards there.
Let's take a look.
Oh no, mostly. So Jimmy's starting on the softs. He's the only one doing it. So the both Red Bulls on the hard tire, they're going long. Cosmo and Wardy on the hards as well, and Dragos is on the hards, and Snitsy is on the hards. Everyone else is on mediums. So the top 7 all chosen the same tire strategy. I would have maybe I wouldn't be surprised if like Rodo or maybe Husk has gone to the hard tires, because I think they started on the harder compound before. But it is difficult, because I think like, yes, you will have a bit less space in the beginning, and especially at the start you can lose a lot of positions, but you will have the faster tire at the end, so that's a dilemma. You need to make a choice.
Interestingly, I'm just looking at last week's race results. The 3 podium sitters, Rodo, Riker and Matt, start alongside each other in P7, 8 and 9, so that'll be an interesting battle going into turn 1. And the top 3, Tonsek, Don and Dino, all finished outside the top 10 last week, so they'll be looking to hold on to that for as long as they can, try and get some more valuable points this week.
Bit of reversed championship standings
almost.
tonight.
It is an interesting call by Jimmy Changa to go on those softs, but I guess, let's say we get a lap 6, lap 7 safety car, then
it's perfect
it's
timing
probably,
for him.
yeah, perfect timing, and everyone else will almost waste that medium stint.
But then he needs to do 20 lap on the hards as well, and that's quite long, so...
This is true, this is true.
Quite surprising strategy, but...
yeah.
Hello,
you
Mr.
might be trying
Becker.
to two-stop.
Yeah, might be. If there are a lot of safety cars, it's a quick strategy.
Yeah. Go on then, give me a prediction. Safety car in lap 1, yes or no?
I'm saying yes this time, actually.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
And we might see some Red Bull / Rodo controversy, I think, into turn 1 or in the SS. That's my prediction.
Right. Well, let's
or maybe
go for the cars.
Spritzy, maybe.
Yeah, I'd like that. Why not?
The Aston Martins. No safety car on lap 1. Well, we'll have to see. So we're waiting for the cars to ready up. Everyone else is on the grid, I think. There we go. Got a good view from the stands. 5 lights. Okay, let's go. And Don has a good start. He's already alongside. But Stubby has a great start. He's up into P2. Oh, we already got a yellow.
We've got 3 cars at the back. Ferrari, AlphaTauri and McLaren.
Spritzy up.
Safety car.
And we got a safety car. There it is. Virtual safety car. So no... already some penalties here.
Neutralized.
A lot of 5-second time penalties. So I think... Boardi has lost his wing. There it is. Snitsy has lost his wing. And Puggy is dropped down. So Boardi and Snitsy both starting on the hards. Have to change the strategy. As Virtual is gone again. Jono had a great start. Both Red Bulls fighting now. I mean, they showed last week the pace, so they're also fighting for the championship. I think in the early stages, no drivers getting through for the championship. It's a fight between Booty and Craigo.
Yeah,
Craigo's also lost his wing a bit.
The exit of the hairpin.
Yeah. Craigo's also lost a bit of his wing end plate on the left hand side. So both Ferraris having wing damage. As Jono is now looking for the overtake. Up the inside and he's through. So he's gaining a lot of positions on the opening lap. The Red Bulls are still fighting.
So we've made it through then lap 1 without a full safety car. Obviously the early virtual didn't do us any favours.
What a shot! Red Bull getting past again. So Rika overtaking Matt. And
we've got 5 cars in the pits.
Haas is round. I just switched to his on board. And he's lost it in the S section. Bit too much to the right. Hitting the grass.
He's lucky to avoid disqualification there for driving backwards on circuit. We've seen people get caught out by that. But he keeps it alive, keeps it going.
I switched to him. Oh, I switched again and the booty is off. This is crazy. I switched to his on board and he's off. So
at least we're capturing it all this time.
Yeah.
So those two are going to join together. But Haas is going to get past.
But I wanted to switch to Haas to say how well Aston Martin had the start of Aston Martin was, but then he spun. But Tonchek's now dropped down to P3 from the start. So he's behind his teammate.
Jono's up 8 positions, who is the biggest gainer from the opening lap, so that poor qualifying hasn't hindered his race start. He's up into P10.
Hello Cranky in the chat. saying go booty. He just spun, unfortunately. But Don is pushing at the front, and Stubby is still close behind Tonchek. As the DRS is enabled now, it's difficult to overtake on this track. As I say, that Jimmy's gets past on the soft tires. I hope I can see the tire wear of his. No, I can't see any tire wear, unfortunately, somehow again.
Good old Tass, doing its job.
We thought we had a new season and everything was back to normal, but it isn't. Oh, we got a yellow.
Booty. Puggy.
Yep.
Puggy.
So not the best for both Ferrari and AlphaTauri.
Everybody also served those 5 seconds apart from Booty, so pretty much everyone back without a penalty, which is good to see. Just natural racing now. And Spritzy's dropped back a little bit. He was closing in just under half a second, and now he's 1.5 seconds behind Rodo, so he might have made a slight mistake at some stage.
Yes, he was close behind at the start. He had a good start, overtook the Red Bulls into turn 1. They were in the hearts, of course, but Matt has lost a lot of time to Raika ahead, who's within the DRS of Spritzy now. As Smith is the fastest lap, but we got a DRS train between both Alfa Romeos and Williams, so Dino might help Tonchek defend from the Williams cars behind. Don't know how Williams scored last week. I mean, Alfa Romeo didn't score too well, as we just mentioned before the race. But I'm looking at...
I'm trying to pick up the best gaps here. We've got Stubby within half a second, Dragos within half a second of his teammate. But the battle for the podium well and truly on. We've got 3 cars within, more or less within a second of each other, all fighting for P2.
Oh, that's Booty again. Yeah, same place.
Exactly the same place, or was it maybe a couple of corners after? Regardless, the S's catching someone else out. That's the 3rd or 4th incident there already in 4 laps.
Yep. And he just needs to...
More yellows. McLaren. Jono, and he nearly takes him out. He doesn't, but he nearly wipes out one of the cars driving by. I missed who it was. It could have been Chimichangas or Cosmo.
Oh, someone is... Oh, it's both McLarens cutting the chicane. And they both lost it. They hit each other then. Because Smith has got wing damage and they've lost out to the top. I didn't know what exactly happened there. But it looks like both Williams made contact with each other as Smith has wing damage.
Wow. So that's dropping him right down the order. He's going to box onto the hard tyres, I think that is. Yep. Which is expected.
Back up into P4 and Alfa Romeo don't have any pressure anymore. It's a yellow flag. Who's that?
Oh, it's Jono again.
Yeah.
Through turn 1, which I have named as the first corner, which is very creative by whoever came up with the names for Suzuka. Oh, and the tyres, the rear tyres, he's gone again. He's going to have to wait for a car, Schmidt to drive by, and he's on the racing line. As a Ferrari comes around, he gets out the way.
Ooh, yep. So, both McLarens, both Ferraris and both AlphaTauris at the back of the grid. Oh,
he's done it again, and it's nearly, oh my god.
Almost took out his teammate.
Oh, he's stuck.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's going to be a safety car.
He doesn't get disqualified again. Ooh, right on the racing line. Let's see if someone makes the mistake.
Is he going to bang it in reverse?
I think he should. Yeah, I know it's not allowed, but... Oh yeah, he reset the track, I mean...
Yeah, realistically, I think that should be okay.
Yeah, as Tonchek is past Dino, Dino let him past. Maybe try to attack.
We lost plenty of time, and I feel That would have been... Oh my god, he's gone again.
Oh, as I was looking at Raika, Spritzy and Stubby. But
Needs to get his tyre data open.
Yes, he already has 5 penalty points, Jono has. So I hope he doesn't cause any more carnage.
He's gone again. Sorry, I need to stop watching him, but he needs to just sort out his tyres before he tries to put the power down.
But now the leaders are approaching, so I hope he stays off the track for a bit. Oh, Stubby's lost to Matt. Matt up the inside of Spritzy, hit the back of him. Stubby now around the outside. Jono 10-second time penalty.
Disaster.
Yeah, he might retire in the pit lane, I think, because he's already a lap down as well. But oh, that's a bit wide whilst overtaking Dragos there, but Jono is also in front of them.
The blue flags are waving, he's let them both by.
Oh, Dragos almost up the inside. Oh, it's a yellow, it's Puggy is retired in the S section. Do we get a safety car? We do have a safety car.
Yes, full course safety car then, which will somewhat rescue Jono. He can box and
it's a
catch
perfect
up to the back of the pack, right?
Perfect moment for Chimmy there. As he continues, and Stubby's behind the safety car, but the safety car is letting them through, obviously. But you need to watch out. Ooh, Matt almost crashed into the safety car. Yeah, it wants to let you pass, but through the S's, it's
same again,
very difficult. Wow. Now go around the outside. There we go. No, Cosmo, watch out. I think so, because if you touch the safety car, I think you're already just out of the race somehow.
Wow. Well, to be honest, I would imagine if you did that in real life, you would probably get a black flag. So
yeah, that's true.
That makes sense.
But so Jimmy's now gone to the medium, so I think he's definitely on the 2 stops. Just soft, medium, medium, the aggressive.
Yes, the aggressive strat. Yeah, so as we said at the start, obviously Jimmy's hasn't boxed yet, but he will. Oh, has he? Yes, he's been in. So yeah, that soft run has helped, and obviously if there's now another safety car, then that's going to really benefit his tyre degradation toward the end of the race. Again, it would have to be timely.
The question is, do we see the medium runners go in for the hard tyres, or do they stay out? I mean, it's a bit early for the mediums, but
yeah,
Don is in.
I would probably be boxing and hoping for another safety car at the end.
Oh, double stacking at Alfa Romeo, that won't help.
Hold them up.
Raika's gone in, he's on the hard tyres, so that's interesting. Matt and the both Mercedes continue as expected, and then everyone else behind them has already made their pit stop.
Let's see where the Alfa Romeos come out then. Are they going to be split? Yes, they have been split.
Dino's behind Raika.
He's down
and
2 positions.
Rodo.
He's dropped behind Rodo and Raika. Those hard tyre runners obviously choosing to stay out, which is the right course of action. So Matt is the provisional leader. So
we got 3 drivers on the mediums. So Raika switched to the mediums, Jimmy has switched to the mediums from the softs, and Wardy has chosen the mediums. Now the Ferraris and the McLarens are back in the race now, but Jono is a lap down, unfortunately. But even, I mean, if we got 3 more DNFs, he will still be in the points, so nothing lost here. It's still a long race. So Collins saying curious to see if Riker can take the mediums to the end. Now if he takes the mediums to the end from here, that is I don't know if that's even possible, but that's quite
no, that will not be possible. I've been running 11, is it 11 laps? Let me think. Yeah, I've been running 12 laps at 65%.
Yeah, I had the same.
And there's 19 laps remaining, so they'd be very, very on the brink of a puncture, if not to be honest, I think that is far too much to ask. I think you're going to be maybe 3 or 4 laps beyond 100%. So you never know, though. He might be extra cautious on them, and he might take them to their lifespan. But I think he even knows himself that he's going to have to come in one more time.
Yeah.
It'll even be a stretch for the hard tyres, to be honest.
That's true. I mean,
they'll be okay. They'll finish the race, but they'll be bad come lap 27.
Yeah, and when you're entering the 70-80% maybe near the end of the race.
Yeah, probably
60.
more. Yeah, probably more.
Yeah.
Again, my hards were 65% after 16 laps, and there's 19 to go, or whatever that is. So.
And you enter the S section as well, and with lower grip, that can be very tricky.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It is interesting, but the safety car is helping a bit because the laps are counting down, but your tire wear isn't getting high.
If anybody was brave under fueling, that will help them out as well. I'm always in two minds whether we should or not.
Yeah, I'm normally always play it safe with an extra lap of fuel. So in any case, even if we do get a safety car, I'm fine. But if we do not, I'm also fine. So I've seen people lose a lot of positions because of under fueling. So
my go-to is I usually put the exact amount required. So I would have put 27 laps in today, and if there's no safety car, then I'll manage towards the end. But I think 9 times out of 10 we would have a safety car in most races.
Yeah, I'm very bad at saving fuel somehow. Track depending, because some tracks I'm very good at saving fuel, but the other ones are terrible. So that's why I like to practice to see how much fuel I have per lap, and then I can calculate that into the race. And when it's red, of course, you can easily underfuel the car.
Yeah. So it could be in this lap then. Should be in this lap.
I think so, yep.
We'll find out now if it is or not.
It might be a late call, maybe, if it does.
Yeah, well, it should have been. No, it'll be staying out. It should have said it by now, so it looks like we're going to go for one more lap.
Or it goes in here. I've seen it before. Just at the end of the. But no.
No.
So another lap then, which is in favor of the medium runners. And the hards as well, to be fair.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. Does Matt have tyre tag? I know some people won't, but no, nobody does.
Okay. No, nobody does.
It's interesting to see where those tyres are at the moment. It should be in the game, really. It should just be a feature, but it isn't, so.
Yeah. So, Cranky is in the chat saying the best strat hard all the way worked in RLH for me to win. Now I've raced in the division as well, or the competition. But interesting to see the hards. I mean, the hards are, at some tracks the hards are terrible, but around here I feel it's a pretty good tire because it isn't stone cold and with no grip, which we have seen before.
We have.
So very long safety car period then.
Exactly, yeah, almost too long. It should have been in, but here we go again.
Yeah, and I had this for I think 3 or 4 safety cars last season. So you can imagine how, and then I was on my own, so I had no one. Yeah, I had the chat to talk to, but
yeah.
Apart from that, it wasn't.
Experienced that.
Could become quite boring.
Season. Exactly. I just ended up talking about my own personal racing. Not that anyone would care about that, but I did it anyway.
Yeah, I was just looking at some stats to spend the time I had during the safety cars.
There it is. Message from race control: safety car in this lap. Where we would have expected to see it. So, as it stands then, a double Mercedes podium.
Yep.
Obviously that may change unless they get a timely safety car. But Matt is going to hold up the pack. He's done this before. And I believe he'll just go and floor it at the exit of this corner.
Yeah, that's a good restart.
He's gone. He's got a gap, a second already.
Yeah. Mercedes a bit sleeping, but everyone else behind this as well. Rodo on the hards. Let's see if someone has a bit of cold tires through the first part of the track.
Oh, there's a spin. McLaren, Schnitzy, through turn one, dropped it on entry. Yeah. He's got it going again.
But Matt had a great restart, already 1.5 seconds gone after one sector.
And Jono's getting blue flags, and he doesn't seem... Yes, he is getting out the way. So he's got to let a few more cars... Oh, there you go, he got a 5-second penalty for it. Yeah, he's still got a few more cars, I think 3 cars to let by, so he needs to get out the way now. And he isn't.
Yellow in sector 2, that's Snitchy again. Yeah, but this is a difficult situation because I think he has a fresh tires set as well. But then again, you need to let the cars behind get past, otherwise you keep getting penalties.
Well, it was a disaster class by Haas last week, and it looks like it's a disaster class by McLaren this time. He's got another 5-second time penalty. Is he going to just retire, or is he going to keep racking up these penalties until he gets disqualified? He needs to get out of the way of these Ferraris behind.
Done up the inside. No, he tries to not stick his nose up the inside there. So now that means that Tonchek behind has a little look, but Rodo's right at the back of Tonchek, almost pushing him through the S section here. Interesting strategy from Cranky, saying the best strategy is soft hards in his opinion. Soft to push and then hards till the end. It's an interesting one.
I don't think I can get away with that.
I won't risk it, but another 5-second penalty then for Jonah.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, to be honest. I'm watching on. I don't really know what he's doing. Now, he just had to let 3 cars by, and it's taken him a whole lap to do it, so 15 seconds is the penalty, and he's already a lap down, so...
Don't know if it will get reported by some of the drivers, because it could be very annoying when a lapped car isn't moving out of the way. But still, the leaders are holding on, and Matt is creating a gap. And he has that little help from the Mercedes drivers. Don has used a lot of his ERS already. As Raika and Rodo are fighting. Raika around the outside and he's passed. But now Don, give me a better view. There he is. Don is passed into turn 1 and Rodo's lost the position to Dino as well. So Rodo's dropping back. Stoncheck is also looking... Yeah. Looking to overtake the Mercedes car. And Becker has a bit of... Yeah, he's a Red Bull driver, so of course saying Red Bull is looking good. They are, to be fair. Sector 1, and then just as I said that, Raika's round. So you jinxed it there.
Unfortunate there. Has he kept it out the wall?
Yep.
Yes.
I think he did. But then on the mediums again, so that's not ideal for your tires. But that may...
Yeah, so quite a tight midfield. A lot of cars within a few tenths of each other. We've got Stubby looking to attack Spritzy and Schmidt on the and up the inside. Great move.
From the driver with number 69.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What's the ERS comparison? Relatively level.
So Alfa Romeo has more ERS compared to the drivers around them. As Dragos moves up into the pit lane.
Huss got very close to Chimichangas, and he's touched the grass with ERS enabled. That's a risk, but he's kept it on the road.
Smith is also looking behind these guys. Huss. Jimmy's holding on pretty well, considering he started in P17. He's already up to P9 now.
I haven't noticed anyone, you know, flying up behind someone through Sector 1, so maybe everyone's running quite low downforce.
Yeah.
I'm not noticing any massive time gains through Sector 1. Which is the best way to keep it clean, really.
That's true. Otherwise you get a big difference in speed in such a part of the track which isn't ideal.
Yeah, I've found that a lot. In Premier with the Mercs last week, for example, I was running high downforce with the wet setup.
Yeah.
And I was right behind Al again and again and again, and then down the straight he would just say bye-bye, half a second, and then I'll have to do it all over again.
And at a track such as Japan, it's very difficult to overtake, so once you're ahead, you might pull away a bit, but then they would all gain it back on the straight. So no point in that actually. Cosmo is fighting Don, and Tonchek is also right behind him. DRS open.
Slipstream. Not quite close enough, Tonchek, but Don might be. He goes around the outside.
Is Cosmo holding on?
No, he's not. He's got it done.
Yep. Good move from Don. Now up to P2.
It's likely that those mediums will be touching probably high 50s at this point. 14 laps. I think he's only going to get another few laps out of them, and he might have to go back to the mediums.
Yeah, his teammate just pitted the lap before, dropped down to P16. And Rodo's putting pressure on no, not on Tonchik, on his teammate Dino, the Dino. But that's the. And well, I'm just noticing, maybe you have seen, or you noticed the same, but it's not a lot of overtakes happening, even though some people are like 4 tenths behind each other all the time.
Yeah, I'm watching this pack in the middle, 9 through 12, Chimichanga, Santa Crego, and they're all hugging each other within a few tenths, but no one can seem to get an advantage over anybody else, and he's dropped it, the Alpine, and he comes back on track, doesn't collect anyone. But as we say his name, he drops the ball, and he's down.
So it seems to happen a lot today, for some reason. Please don't blame us.
And Schmidt is gaining on Huss. He's not going to dive down the inside, but he's going to be right up behind him.
Oh, Jimmy was looking up the inside.
Oh, was that a pit? Cosmo pit, yes.
Jimmy almost up to the grass, but now he needs to defend from Booty behind. They are pretty equal on the straight, both DRS, so...
Smith's taking Huss into turn 1.
Yeah, Smith up into P8 then. Almost behind his teammate again after the wing change.
And Matt will surely look to box in the next couple of laps.
Oh.
2-second time penalty for the McLarens. The only 2 drivers with any penalties. And I believe is that, will it be 25 seconds worth of penalties for Jono?
So lap down. He's ahead of the both Mercedes cars, so he needs to watch out as well. Or move out of the way. Or no, that's Snitsy. I'm looking at the wrong McLaren. Stubby's closing in on the road.
I've got my eyes on him.
Look at this mid-corner speed compared to Rodo.
Let's see what it's like down this back straight before 130R then. He's not going to be close enough to make a move. He might look to make a dive into the chicane. He
Around
is.
the outside. Now the inside for the next one.
Could be a corner cut.
Matt is pitting in the meantime. But they both have DRS or... yeah. But Stubby has a better line. And he's up into P4 then. But interesting to see what Matt can do now on the medium tires with 10 laps to go. Around 10 laps. Down in P13.
Yeah, the podium sitter from last week, so he'll want to at least get in the top 10, I would hope. But Don regains the lead, as we expected, and obviously the Alfa Romeo's within there.
And Stubby seems to have a lot of pace on the hard tires, so I'm interested to see how much further. It's a McLaren, I think.
Alpha.
Oh no,
Alpha.
It's an Alpha. It's Booty again.
Under
that
the
was
bridge.
unfortunate. Watch out.
Is he stuck? Yeah, I'm
Nope.
gonna let people by.
Oh, he's almost lost it again there. And he's dropped out of the points. So Spritzy up to P6 then. We didn't speak too much about him, but
yeah, it's a great result. All things considered, he was, like I said earlier, 12th in qualifying, and he wanted the P8 or P9 in the race, but he's currently P6, so ahead of predictions again.
maybe just underappreciating his driving ability.
Exactly.
And he is a champion from 2 seasons ago, I think it was. Season 3. The gaps are slowly becoming bigger and bigger now. The only real battle on track I'm looking at is Smith right now. Putting pressure on Spritzy ahead. Oh, it's a yellow. Oh, someone... It's Stubby is round. Yeah. At the same place, and he's I was just... Oh, that's unfortunate. He was doing so well. Watch out for the Red Bull. Oh! That was close. That was really close. I don't know if you've seen the stream.
Saw that on the stream. Yeah, I've just watched it on the stream. Wow,
oh,
he's to the outside.
Almost lost it again. Now Snitchy's right behind him and he's overtaking him. So that's really one mistake and you drop down to P13 from P4. Oh, that's a big fight now. 4 cars. Both Mercedes drivers. On the mediums.
We've got Smith right up behind Spritzy as they head out the final chicane. And have DRS, and he's got heaped loads of ERS over the Aston Martins in front and behind him, so I think he's going to get this move done with ease. He's alongside and ahead before the braking zone.
Yeah, so Smith up into P5. Spritzy still P6. But his teammate is behind him. Ferrari's up into P8 and P9. We didn't really talk about these drivers, but also getting into the points. Rodo's promoted to P4 again. So he's doing... Oh, that's how you become a champion as well. On the days maybe you're not the quickest, but still pick up P4 and P5.
Yeah, it's a good result considering the top 3 have been there from qualifying all the way through. And it's probably the best they could have hoped for.
The closest in the championship, I mean it's only 1 round, but both Red Bulls down in P11 and P16, so... Oh! Snitsy almost losing it. Struggling.
Interestingly, Rodo was hoping for a top 5, so he's got what he hoped for now. And obviously the margin is quite far from the podium. There's a booty again.
Yeah.
In Sector 1. Fortunate for him. But yeah, so Rodo predicting a top 5 finish without any mistakes. He'll bring that home, I'm sure. But Smith will be gaining on him under DRS as they head down the main straight. Huss also on his teammate, possibly.
Yeah. I'm also just trying to follow them. There we go.
Can't imagine Spritzy will put up too much of a defence.
No, he's letting his teammate pass into turn 1.
Good stuff.
Someone is in. It's Snitsy and on from the hard tires. interesting decision. But the Williams do have some pace tonight. But one lost their wing early on, and the other has made a mistake. But they're now in P5 and P12. Oh, I thought Rodos lost it, but that's just the angle
I'm looking
of the
at these
camera.
guys, Wardy and Chimichangas particularly, who started on the softs. Obviously, he hasn't used the hards at any stage. Now, those medium tyres are going to be screaming out at the moment. I'd imagine they'll be well within the 60%, and with 7.5 laps remaining, I'd be surprised if they even made it to the end, as we said earlier.
It's definitely you're in P9 and P10, so I wouldn't risk it that much, but it could definitely. Yeah, I mean, you aren't going forward if you decide to stay out, but you can only go backwards.
Yeah, and we've got Matt, who is again trying to get past Jono under blue flags. So let's see again if he makes it easy for him. He should. He probably won't.
There we go. The medium drivers are in, going to the softs, but in the meantime, Smith over to Brodo.
Making contact into turn 1 under blue flags. That'll be getting reported, I think, because I'm not sure he knows what blue flags are.
Yeah, and it's not great when you already have 5 penalty points in the first round.
No.
So
yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It's disappointing that the McLaren, that he's part of my team, but nevertheless, it's plenty of penalties and no points from the McLaren driver. But yeah, not ideal to be making contact with someone going into turn 1.
Now I'm looking at the battle between Craigo and Spritzy for P7 between Aston Martin and Ferrari. Now we lost it even after the final round. We lost the all-gear constructors to Aston Martin in the stewards room. So it's definitely a heated battle for 2 seasons in a row now, as we lost it twice to them, I think. But now Craigo is past. And up into P7. Oh, we got a yellow. It is Booty again.
The S's are an absolute killer.
It's at the same point every time.
And fresh tyres as well.
Yeah. So maybe it's just something to do with his wing setup or his ride height, maybe. But,
and those drivers I mentioned earlier, sorry if you mentioned it already, but Wardy and Chimichangas boxed for soft, so they were experiencing difficulties on those mediums. They've made the change.
So they lost about what is it? 4 positions?
4 positions each, yeah.
But it's much safer than losing, maybe dropping out of the points, because you're still in the points. But it was an interesting tactic from Raika then. He's changed to the mediums again because he's on 8 lap old mediums, but he switched to those mediums as well, so he's done the 2-stop there. Didn't work out for him. But Jimmy's done the soft twice. That's also interesting. Done at the front, controlling the field, 4.5 seconds almost ahead of the rest. With a decent point finish currently for Alfa Romeo, double podium, P2 and P3. Smith.
Yeah, I'm watching on with the the Mercedes drivers who are within half a second. It looks like Dragos is going to get a chance to overtake going into turn 1. He's got a little bit more ERS, well, quite a bit more, 25% more ERS than his teammate. So it looks as though he's going to possibly push for an overtake there.
So Cosmo is defending using his ERS. Oh, Stubby picks up the 3-second. Oh, the Mercedes run wide. And he's letting his teammate pass then. Wardy fastest lap.
To let him by.
Cosmo picked up a penalty, or was that just... He already had that? I'm not sure. But Wardy is gaining a lot on the Mercedes cars ahead. And I don't know if... I mean, he set the fastest lap. I don't know if that's just purely for the top 10 or for if you are in the points.
I think it's in the points, yeah, so it should count. I think it's the top 15 counts.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of extra points, or point. I'm not sure how much it is. I thought it was 2, but I might be wrong.
And again, I'm not sure if these are working, but it looks as though the 3 drivers at the front have 0 warnings, so
yeah,
they're in the clear. But drivers at risk, Traego is 1 away from the penalty, Spritzy 1 away, that's all.
Yeah.
So those guys need to watch out. And obviously Wardy gaining on those soft tyres, and with Cosmo having a 3-second time penalty, it makes the job slightly easier for him there.
Spritzy still holding on, and Stubby's retired.
Flag, final corner.
That's final corner. Oh, it's a big crash.
Oh, has he collected him? Oh no.
Struggles has collected, and it's a safety car, late sprint. Wardy's going in again for softs, but that means that everyone is back in the race. And it's interesting because Don, look at the gap he had. Maybe not sure if that's correct, but yeah, everyone else will be back in the race. Booty will be very glad he hasn't been lapped yet. But I'm pretty sure everyone will go in, so we get a sprint race at the end then.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be a very quick safety car window after we learned last week, right? There'll only be a one-lap safety car, so any drivers at the back with a gap, like me and you experienced last week, we don't get to catch up, we just have to go.
And I mean, I was 5 seconds per lap quicker on the than the hard tires, so if we were behind, then we would have gained a lot of time.
Absolutely. So then, that's very unfortunate for Dragos, who moved up into the top 10. I didn't see the incident, so I imagine he's collided into the pit wall like we talked about at the start, and he's just collected the Mercedes on the way through.
Oh, Don staying out. Donchek does the same.
Ooh.
Dino decides to stay out. Smith is going out. Roda Wu takes the gamble. Haas is not taking the gamble. Krago is taking the gamble. That's what I like to see. Spritzy staying out.
Staying out, wow.
Matt is staying out, and now Cosmo.
Yeah, Matt will always stay out.
But Krago only lost 2 positions, but he is on the hard tires, so soft tires compared to 17 lap olds or even 20 lap old hard tires. So they might struggle at the end as well. Interesting to see what Krago can do.
Will the safety car be in this lap regardless, right? Or not?
I think he could even go to lap 20. Another lap after this, and then you only get lap 26 and 7 racing, right. But I'm pretty sure we won't get any DRS, but it will definitely be exciting at the end of the race, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, we're already on 25, so it must be this lap.
Oh, yeah, then it must be, yeah. I think if it only happened once where we had a last lap sprint, but that was on the old game, so I'm not sure if that's the case in this game.
Well, Matt is in the best position realistically, I feel like. I mean, Krago, yes, being on the softs, but Matt's got pace, and
he's
the
on
mediums will be okay, that they'll be able to push till the end of the race. So Spritzy in danger, the Aston Martin team in danger.
But Smith on 20 lap old hard tires as well.
Very good point there. Let's see then. So the podium sitters have held their places ever since qualifying, more or less, and now they might be at risk. Safety car is in this lap.
Interesting point from Richie as the safety car is in. Why did Wardy pit? We are not sure, but he is not catching up then, and he was on the soft tires, so it's a bit of a weird decision, but we will have a 2-lap sprint race.
Again, I feel like it's one of those things where you assume you're going to catch up to the back of the pack. I did last week.
Yeah.
And then before you know it,
Smith has dropped it. at the restart, and he's lost.
No, on those 20-lap-old hards.
Barty didn't catch up. Jimmy did catch up though, but
Spritzy 1.5 seconds behind already, so he's had a nap at the restart, and Matt, nearly put her nose up the inside, but doesn't.
I tried to switch to the just broadcast camera, and it keeps giving me the halo cam to the helmet. Like what is that view? Come on. But
it's a terrible camera, isn't it?
Yeah, Don is already 1.1 away, and it's only one lap after this, so he's pushing maybe a bit. But Rodo is looking for that podium. He's up into P4 after Smith has lost it. Jono picks up another 5 seconds for ignoring blue flags.
This could be some sort of ban going on here, because it's just not very fair racing, is it? Anyway, let's not look at the negatives. We've got a good battle for the podium. 6/10 Rodo to Dino, and 2/10 now Matt on Spritzy, so Spritzy's really got to defend with everything he's got going at the final lap.
There's Matt now in, but I'm also looking at Rodo. Need to keep 2 eyes if you can have a bit of a view on Matt there. Rodo's not closing in enough, but Matt is. Same for Craigo behind. On the softs, around the outside, but good defending from Cosmo. Taking a different line, but Matt is also taking a different line on Spritzy. The battle of the ERS, they all have a lot of ERS to spend. He doesn't seem to be closing in. Can Rodo...
Well, Spritzy's held him the whole time, so you may well hold on here.
To a P6.
Matt doesn't want to get too overzealous with it. He doesn't want to stick a nose in when he doesn't have to. But he'll feel like it's been a wasted safety car. If he can't gain one position, he'll be disappointed with himself. But Spritzy held on last lap. I'm sure he can hold on for one more. Rodo closing in.
Yeah, he really wants that podium, but it will be very deserving for Dino as well. On the podium position the whole race. Don is gone. If he doesn't make any mistakes, he is looking very good for the win. Rodo now really close behind, but he's used almost all of his ERS compared to Dino, so...
Likewise with Spritzy and Matt, Spritzy's held double what Matt's got left, so going down the back straight towards 130R, Spritzy will have the advantage, and all he has to do is defend him into the chicane. He's gone wide a little bit, Spritzy. That's going to compromise his exit. Matt's going to get it done, I think.
Yeah,
Could be on the outside of 130.
Yeah,
Spritzy defends hard. Great racing. I think he's going to stay. He's going to stay in front.
Need to keep an eye on him. Oh, Craigo's lost it in the background.
Craigo. Oh no. Focus on the front then, as Don crosses the line and wins.
And Dino holds on to the podium, and Spritzy holds on to P6, as Matt finishes P7, and Jimmy comes home in P9, so a good race from him. Craigo unfortunately P10, which would have been P8 if he didn't collide with Cosmo. Pointed for the Williams team, 2 points in P14, and Booty just surviving to the end.
Well, great race then. We'll take a look at the results. I'm going to have to drop in a minute, so if you want to do interviews, go ahead, but I'll have to...
yeah, interviews, we do it for next time maybe.
Top step of the podium then. Would you know that? After last week, the Haas disaster class. He's turned it around and he's got himself on the top step.
Both Alfa Romeos as well, double podium for them, so it's a bit unusual this podium. A Haas winning and 2 Alfa Romeos on the podium, but it is a good race from them. Very deserved top 3 and qualifying the 3 quickest and in the race as well. So we will switch to the final results then, as we have done at P1, as we said. Donchek and Dino. I need to be quick because the timers somehow started. Rodo's in P4. We got both Aston Martins in P5 and P6 with Haas and Spritzy. Matt in P7 with a different strategy. Cosmo is in P8. Good recovery from him. Jimmy's in P9, well done. Craigo, unfortunately P10. Same for Smith in P11. Wardy is in P12. We got Raika in P13. Snitchy is in P14. Booty in P15. Jono in P16. And then Tragos, Stubby and Puggy all retired out of the race. These are your final results then. And we move to... Which circuit do we move to next?
I was just about to hope you had it. It's Belgium or Brazil, I'm pretty sure.
Belgium, yeah. So I like Belgium. It's a good track for racing as well. And
right.
It's after that it's Brazil, a sprint race in Brazil. So.
Oh, interesting. That'll be fun.
Cool.
First. Well, I have to drop. So.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me.
It's been a good evening. Some good moments and plenty to commentate on. I feel like it was a little bit more entertaining than last week.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, last week it was big caps. Today we got an interesting one. So, thank you all for joining us. And we will be back tomorrow for Premier Division. And otherwise we will be back next week on Wednesday, same time, for the championship again. So, thank you for watching and see you all next week. And good evening.